Some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric.
These polyphenols can help you have more energy, and polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
And hello, Spoony listener. Chef Patrick Mosher here, the Food Biz Pro at the Spoony Radio Studios. Yes, I know I'm not looking at the camera. I was pouring a little small batch distillery. That's the Journeyman Distillery Silver Cross Whiskey from, not Minnesota. It's got to be Michigan. It's MI. Minnesota's MN. So, and I can hear that through the mic, dude. I'm just messing with you. I had my earphone off. No. So, no, I'm just messing with you. So, Brandon Anderson.
That's correct.
The one, the only. Can you hear that? The one, the only Brandon Anderson, the pitmaster from, can I tell you? So, mute it. No, just turn your volume down. It's okay. Can I tell you what?
I'm a newbie here, remember?
No, so for one time, I look good. I do. I mean, I don't look handsome good. I mean, I look like I forget to unmute the mic. I had gum in my mouth. I had to spit it out one day, and it didn't go out. It just dropped on my chin. I tripped over the headphone cords getting out of here on the break one time because I set them on my left and then proceeded to climb over. Look, the mic cord plugs in on the right. Yeah. What the hell was I thinking? So, the great thing about live radio is it's live radio.
Yeah.
So we can just goof around, have fun, and nobody. Okay, some people can see us, but not that many. Not that many.
Might have a lot today.
Yeah, I know, man. We've been promoting the heck out of this. So, can I tell you, I love the name Rack Attack Barbecue, by the way.
I've had some discrepancies on that, though.
Really? Why is that?
One person thought it was derogatory, as if I was a Twin Peaks or something.
Oh.
So I should have boobies, at a restaurant.
You could say, yes, it was in reference to blue-footed boobies. That would be the bird from the Galapagos Islands, which I've heard is quite a delicacy if you can, get through the web footing. No, I don't think you can eat them. They're probably endangered. But, dude, look, people, just lighten up. It's food.
Yeah.
It's food.
And it's my name.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like it's Attack the Rack, right?
Correct.
It's Rack Attack. And it's a rack of ribs.
Or deer antler. That's how I came up with it. I was a hunter. So I was like, you know what? A deer rack of ribs. I'll mush my favorite part of hunting and cooking.
The fact that you came up with the deer antlers first, I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about you, son. No, I'm just joking, Brandon.
I cook venison all the time.
Hey, welcome to Spoony again.
Thank you.
I have to tell you, Trey Chapman, I love you, but you got to get your guys to bring some food in because I see all these wonderful chefs coming in. Look, John Tisar, I know you're a busy man and you're probably not going to bring some stuff in, but we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Don't be showing it off yet because keep showing it off. I'll probably eat it before we talk about it. Exactly. But if you know what, if you're going to come in the studio, folks, I'm telling you, it behooves you to bring food. I'll give you all 2 hours of the show. I sure will. And I'll give you another 2 hours next week if you bring some more food back. So
there you go.
Look,
I'm down.
What I really like about what you're doing here is it's not traditional. I mean, you do some traditional barbecue. You brought brisket last time, which was unbelievable, by the way. And you did the armadillo. What was the Texas Twinkies?
Texas Twinkies.
Okay, which is it's got bacon. That's all that matters, right?
Right. So it's got the jalapeno split, cream cheese, which I put seasoning in the cream cheese. It's not just normal cream cheese.
Nice.
Then you got brisket, sliced up, chopped brisket in there. Then you close it in, wrap it up in bacon. Call it a day.
So that's something I talk about with young chefs or young cooks all the time, and feel free to.
I'm trying to share my deal.
Look, I can yap for 2 hours with nothing to say, so you're good.
But
one of the things is you again, as many of the show hosts would say, there's a pride in what you do, and making sure that you season every component at each stage is very important, and then tasting and making sure that things are seasoned properly. And keep going. I'll keep talking. So young chefs, what's Stefan's last name? Stefan from you know what I'm talking about. He used to be with the wine bar.
Has a mohawk?
Yeah, him.
Rye School. I don't want to chop your name up.
It don't matter. He's kind of a badass who won. He won Top Chef, right? Yep. Yeah, we've had 2 Top Chef winners in here actually on Trey's show. But Stefan's like, look, when you come out of culinary school, trust me, you don't know it all, and I can guarantee you don't. So season every step of the way. And no, as your chef, I don't want to have a new idea from you every shift, every day. You know, you want to impress me? Keep your mouth shut for 2 weeks. I want to hear, yes, chef, it's done. That's it. Yes, chef. Actually, I'm not. I used to be that guy.
Yeah.
I'm a little more compassionate now, but I literally had guys throwing knives at me in the kitchen and not saying very nice things to me. But, you know, I grew up and survived, and it is what it is. So, back to you. So, I mean, how long have you been doing this Rack Attack Barbecue?
So I started my business in officially in May 2018.
Okay.
February 2018, I was working a full-time, normal job, and cooked for the company I was with, which was Gander Outdoors. They reopened one of the Gander Mountains. And we
Really?
cooked for, yeah.
Really?
So they only opened up one in Lake Worth. It was about 40.
Was that the first one?
That was the first Gander Outdoors.
Okay.
Now, not the first Gander Mountain.
Yeah. Somebody.
So we were rebuilding the whole inside from top to bottom, all the merchandise shelves, and I cooked for all 40 people on my little Rectech Mini, which is a pellet grill. It's a small thing.
Yes, they are small.
So I did well. I was like, you know what? Everyone liked it. Why not just try to make this a living? I had
So you were working at the store?
I was working at the store.
Okay.
I was one of the supervisors over hunting and archery,
I gotcha.
because that's more forte. That's what I was doing.
Oh, wish
then on
my
hobby.
brother and my nephews were here, man. You'd be here all night, son.
Oh, man.
Son, I say son. You're not that. Look, I'm only 51, so
That's okay.
I am old enough to be your dad.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel old. Jeff, would you come pull that knife out of my back
There
and
you
pour a
go.
little salt down there for me, please? Just joking. So you're working for the Gander out.
Yeah, it was Gander Outdoors.
Outdoors, okay.
Yep. So
And?
I cooked for about 30, 40 people. Everybody liked it. At that time, I had,
Do you remember what you made?
I think it was pulled pork sandwiches, and then wings. These wings right here.
Nice.
Yep.
And man, I can't wait to
I do wings all the time.
Stick look good.
And I had I think he was my 3-year-old now, 1.5-year-old now. I'm not sure which one was what age then, but I knew I wanted to be at home. I wanted to do my own thing, be an entrepreneur. So I quit there because I just wanted to be with my kids.
I don't blame you.
And so I was like, you know what? Why not start selling and cooking? And I started as a pop-up. So basically a food truck just with a 10 by 10 canopy, a pop-up table, a little square stand to do the terminal to swipe cards, and started, at the breweries, Panther Island Brewery, Raw Brewery.
And
that's where I started.
That's a great place for a lot of food trucks where they start. They get a couple of accounts like that.
Yeah.
They go certain places on certain nights, right?
Yep.
Because very few, such as the guys down here, we won't mention the barbecue, but the Cowtown, right?
Gotcha.
Which I love their beers, by the way. They're all German
Cowtown
style.
Brewery.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan.
Yeah, and what's her name? Cass.
I only know the
is,
owner.
yeah, well, I thought she's friends with Randy White. She, I don't know. She's a little blonde, little. She's the GM or something. I don't know what she does. I don't know exactly. But she was really friendly, and she is. When I was down, the first time I ate there, she invited me. There was going to be a donuts and beer pairing that following Sunday, but I wasn't going to be in town. And I was like, "Thanks for the invite." But it was so nice. I just walked in randomly, because it was one of the closest places to eat. It's 4 miles from here.
Yep.
And I was like, "Well, what a cool little joint, man!" And it's super simple.
Yeah, they're nice. That's a nice place.
It is really cool. Yeah, I don't know about the brewery part because you have to take the walls out to take the tanks out to clean everything like twice a year. Man, it's bad enough cleaning the kitchen or cleaning a pit or anything. Now, that's a question real quick. We're gonna get back to the history in a second.
Yeah.
Some people say you never clean the smoker. I worked at a place called Fred's Hickory Inn, which was the first quote unquote fine dining restaurant in Northwest Arkansas, and they used to smoke don't tell nobody I told you, but these top sirloin.
Okay.
The whole butt, 12-pounders.
And then they would slice it up to order?
Yeah, so we did it 2 ways, and they've been doing it since I think the year I was 1968 when they opened. I think he had the smokehouse before that. Before they had the restaurant, they had the smokehouse for like 5 or 6 years before that.
Okay.
And so they would do it 2 ways. They slice it for beef sandwiches, which was awesome. It's like, think about Arby's, but
better.
not Arby's. I mean, no, it kind of looks like that sliced meat, but man, it is good. And then they would slice it into steaks. I think they did an 8-ounce and a 12-ounce. It was unbelievable. I'd never had sirloin taste that good because I always buy the steak and yes, I didn't always overcook it, but many times, it's something you got to serve medium rare or it's shoe leather.
Yeah.
But
or you need sauce.
Yeah. So it was, but we used to get a lot of creosote in that pit. It was a really old. It was just something somebody custom made for them, and it was rotisserie. So there were two actually combined pits.
Gotcha.
Or no, one big pit with two doors, and we could fit. I mean, that thing was long. We had two sets of racks. They were each 5 feet long, and we had 6 per wheel. So
A lot of food.
Kinda. I mean, sometimes we'd have. I mean, the holiday time, you had to load that thing up twice a day.
With turkeys and hams. Maybe.
Man, actually, for like Valentine's Day, we did smoked tenderloin, the whole smoked tenderloin, and then just kept it in a basically it was a proofing box. But I lit some sternos inside because I didn't have a hot box.
Okay.
So it's put sternos in the bottom, and then you just keep one sterno, keep moving it, right? So you don't get hot spots, and then you have trays that you put in between to provide a buffer, and then you keep the plates in between those trays so that your plates are always warm.
That's old school.
Dude, that's like that's catering. That's what that is, big time catering.
Yeah.
But so you decided to make this more than a hobby because people liked it.
Yeah.
This was 2018, right?
Yeah, 2018.
All right. So what was the first? I mean, what was the next step? Because I really like the business of business and seeing people grow or trying.
So before I did it officially as a business, I did a couple of competitions every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Just doing it for fun. Didn't have a care in the world to actually do it normally for business.
Yeah. Well, you placed pretty like a top 10 in a steak.
Yeah. So my first big comp was a SCA, State Cook-Off Association contest that was at Raw Brewery, and did the steak there. Got 10th place out of I think 32 people for my first time ever. I mean, cooking a steak. I mean, I've done deer steaks, which those are always done almost rare. I mean, it's a whole different ballgame.
Got to be rare, yeah. And everything else I put through the tenderizer twice.
So I took the leap of faith and started Rack Tech Barbecue Competition Team. That was the name. Did the SCA competition, got 10th place. Spoke with Jody, who runs all the food trucks there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, can I set up here and be a pop up and like a food truck? Just I don't have the food truck because everything's cooked on the smoker anyways, not inside the oven inside the food truck. Which you can get rotisseries or old hickory smokers in a food truck, but me, I want to, either an offset reverse flow or, a pellet smoker. Just depends on what size, meat you're cooking. So I got with her and I did my first pop up at RAR, and it went from there.
That's RAR.
RAR Brewery.
So that's RAHR, by the way, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So great brewery, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And how'd it go?
It went well. It went well as far as everyone enjoyed it. I cooked way too much food. Way too much.
The classic mistake.
Oh gosh, way too much. Just I anticipated, their normal Wednesdays are 800 to 1,000 people. Their Saturdays are 300 to 500 people, and I might be off on that. But this time I think it was a Saturday. It was hot. It was the middle of summer last year, yeah, that was only last year.
This Yeti keeps that hot water with the dried fruit really hot. Yeah. Wow. I was like, I'll take a sip. Whoa. I almost spit that back out. I'm glad you were talking.
Right.
So how much did you have left over?
Let's just say.
I'm sorry. I've done this before. That's why I'm chuckling, because I'm laughing with you now.
I had quite a bit of food. I mean, probably $300 worth of, on my end, wholesale prices. That's a lot, because, 300 could translate to, 1,000, 1,200.
Yeah,
you just never
right.
know.
At least 1,000 if you're doing it right.
And and at that time I was new to the catering, to the restaurant deal.
Now, had you worked in restaurants prior?
So before I went to Gander, I was at Smoky Mays Barbecue in Mansfield.
Okay, now you take a long time on this. I'm going to take a bite of wing.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. So, one point I was working at a detention center in Alvarado, immigration center with ICE. Went into Uber and popped into Smoky Mays.
You were working there, or you were being detained?
I was a detention center. I'm a U.S. citizen. Just say that is what it is.
I may or may not be. I'm just saying,
It's okay.
Hey, if it's 3 squares, come get me.
Here you go. So yeah, I popped in there. Saw a buddy that I knew, and he's like, "Hey, you want to work here?" I'm like, "Sure." This is steady income. I'm not Ubering. So started in the pit. A week, probably 4 days later, I was in the kitchen running expo. It wasn't too much of a learning experience as far as restaurant. I have no hardly restaurant industry experience like a lot of other people, but I learned quick.
You ever eaten in a restaurant?
Yeah.
Good enough.
And my wife was a server for On the Border for probably 5 years.
Well,
so I kind of saw what she
They do some
had
volume.
to deal with.
They do some volume. Was it
she
the one here?
It was Mansfield.
Okay.
So, she wasn't a cook, so she wasn't back there. I just kind of saw the forefront of it. So where were we at? So, yeah, started at Smoky Maze, worked at Expo, worked the front of the house, and saw the bar potential, doing live music. They didn't do any of that there.
Really?
Coming up with drink specials. At that time, they were, I think, 6 months new. So they promoted me to bar manager. So I was able to get, new vendors in there, get that moonshine company. I think it's Old Smoky Moonshine.
Oh, it's funny. I met a young man. I'll tell you about the moment.
Wanna keep going?
Remind me of Old Smoky. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because look, I'm putting the bib on, folks. It's barbecue time.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
So look, these wings, by the way, phenomenal. And did you brine these?
Yeah. They were brined for about 40 hours.
Dude. How do you
Usually
so,
it's too long.
Typically I'll go get if I get something brined. I was at a very nice steakhouse here, I don't know, 6 months ago, right downtown, and I stopped to get a drink and a salad. And I ended up ordering they had like a veal chop or something like that. May have been another time, maybe a year or 2 or 3 ago. But anyway, this is a very nice house, very nice chop house, very nice restaurant. And it came out, and not only was it over brined, the sauce was over salted ridiculously. And so I said something, and the server says to me, the bartender says, well, we are a little heavy with the salt. That's the second time I've heard that in a nice establishment in the last year or two. And I'm like, okay, is that what you tell everyone? Because that's really not that means that the chef isn't tasting anything, or do you even have a chef back there? But anyway, I was like, okay, could you take it back and maybe I'll just get a salad? And they brought me a salad.
Oh, you're brining in salt as it is. So
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Balance, right?
Yeah.
Balance on the plate. But what is this sauce, dude?
that is actually it's not a homemade sauce. I'm upfront about everything. That is Salt Lick's original barbecue sauce.
We like those guys. I got some in the drawer back there. Don't tell anybody. It's mine. I made it. No. I'll tell you, they have some amazing product. I need to get them in
That
here.
won me first place wings at what's called the rib roast, which is done with Youth Adventures something LAYF. Life Adventures Youth Foundation. There we go.
Oh.
So I did a rib roast, a barbecue competition last year, and won first place in wings with that sauce. So I figured I'll bring it today.
We forgot to do the inaugural toast here.
Yeah.
You're no longer a radio virgin. There you go. Cheers. It's okay. Mine rings constantly the whole day. Don't worry about it, dude. It happens every time. It never fails. My business partner, Jeffrey Klein, he's a business partner on the consulting side. We do restaurants. We were doing a lot of funding. Money's getting expensive now. So
yeah.
And basically, if they're putting up the money, you got to give up like 90% of the deal, which is not worth it. That's why you build in 3 to 5% management fees, folks. Okay. It's all about the fees. It's the only way you make any money. But I'm telling you, I'm not sure whether to eat the wing and just lick the sauce off the wing, just eat the wing, have it all together. It's all so good. And that's a perfect pairing, though. The char, the brine.
So you want me to give you a little how I did it, how I ran it? Why not?
Are you sure?
Sure.
You can go wear your secrets? Because I'll tell you what.
I've shared how to brine. I mean, if people don't know how, they need to learn.
I will tell every recipe, every ingredient, the exact method. I never leave anything out. I never change the ratios because it's method, right? It's feel. After a while, you're just like, okay, it's done. Well, how do you know? Well, okay, it starts to bubble. It does this. It's viscous. And when it coats the back of a spoon just like this and you wipe your finger down, it's called, draping the spoon. You know it's done. That's too much work. Okay, well, come eat at my restaurant.
Not if it's normal for you.
Come eat at my restaurant. Or wait, no, better yet, eat at Rack Attack Barbecue. Well, or have them bring it to you.
Yeah, there you go.
They can eat in your backyard. All
Yeah, heck yeah.
right, so back to how did you do this? What's the brine?
So any poultry, even turkey, I mean, just any poultry, anything that flies. I always like to brine it. I got a big enough refrigerator, and I got a Yeti bucket that I can put everything in, close the lid, boom, go. So for any brining, it's always going to be a gallon of water per gallon or per cup of salt. But here's the twist.
Keep going, man. You're good.
Here's the twist. So you take your gallon of water and you're supposed to do a cup of salt. Half a cup of salt, half a cup of the seasoning you're going to use for the chicken or whatever you're using, whether it's turkey or not. Then you throw that into the bucket, stir it around, throw your chicken in there. Do it for at least 24 hours or 40 for this one. And, you got to rinse it off once you're done. You don't want to leave the salt on the outside because then you're still putting more seasoning on top.
That's funny you say that. After I brine, I let it soak in water for about 30 minutes and then rinse it one more time quickly because that top layer, the outside layer, has a lot of additional salt in it.
Oh yeah, that's bitter.
Well, it really prevents you from having that over salted experience that I had. And it's EVs, if anybody wants to know what the name of the place was. But it was a very, it was more. It was maybe 3 years ago, but it was a very expensive. It's $35, $38 chop. Ruined. But I agree. Poultry needs that, especially if you're going to slow cook it.
Or even high cook it. High cook keeps it from burning up inside. That's the main reason. So this one I did on my pellet smoker at 425 over direct heat. Because on my Yoder smoker, I can actually take a big square piece out and it'll be direct flame on some grill grates.
Is this not a picture to behold?
Yeah.
Right here? Chef Patrick Mosher with the makeshift bib with barbecue sauce all over him, which he's not wiping on a napkin. He's licking off because the sauce. But it's not just the sauce. It's the char and the brine, everything together. This is fantastic. All right, I'm not going to fill up on the
Yeah, you're not even to the entree yet.
I know. Well, again, this is the first course of the show. This would be the appetizer.
True.
First course. But when you posted a picture of these, was it this more last night? Yesterday?
Yeah, last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you said you just made these meatballs. You're going to go on the smoker today. Yeah. I was like, oh, man. Because I'll tell you what, you can smoke. I can take the stupid thing off. I don't need bib. Well, I do. Because I need a sippy cup. I spill everything I touch. Which is why I'm good in the kitchen. I don't mind cleaning up those messes. But put me at a table, yeah, I'm done. People don't think about that. Smoking like meatball. I've done smoked meatloaf before. Just make a loaf, put it on the pan. You have to have something like, you either have to have a static smoker that's not rotating, or to something that has big grates like Southern Pride or something like that. Who the hell can afford that, right? I can't. So I know. And especially
$25,000, I think.
Some are more. Some are more. Those big ones are more.
Yeah.
Why?
Just stoke the fire.
Well, and here's the thing. If you're doing this for your family, then if you're hands-on and having to be attentive, I think the reward is much greater.
That's where pellet grill comes in, which that is still all wood, no propane assisted, etc.
Et cetera. No. So talk about the grill that you used.
I use
by the way, you can get a plug to anybody you want, anybody, any company. It's your time.
Okay.
Seriously.
I use
sponsors needed, folks. Sponsors needed. Listen up. We'll tag you later, again and again.
So what got me initially into cooking, as far as outside cooking, not kitchen cooking, was a Rectech grill. So I had a Rectech Mini, an RT300 that I won during Thanksgiving of 2017. They were doing a Facebook contest where one of the co-founders, Ray Carnes, was here he's a Dallas Cowboys fan. So he was here for the Thanksgiving game. And they did a contest where, he'll post a picture of where he's at. And if you find him, you say, I want a Rectech Mini. Boom, you get it. Well, he posted a picture of the Riata. Riata only has one bar, one restaurant. That wasn't hard. So he was having breakfast there that morning, or lunch, whatever it was. I told the wife, hey, I'm going to be late for Thanksgiving lunch because I'm getting this. I went. I was the first person. He even texted me his number and said, hey, I'll be coming down around 10:30. Here he comes down the elevator. Boom. Hey, I want a Rectech Mini.
I love it.
So that's where the cooking outs. I had a Weber. That's just a Weber.
That's what we all start on.
And
it's not. There's no just. No. It's a Weber.
Yeah. And doing more smoking briskets and stuff. Of course, it's a lot easier with a pellet smoker or
an actual smoker.
Yeah, actual smoker
instead of a grill.
So that's where I really went head on and was like, "Ooh, I'm going to cook this. I'm going to cook that." And
foil pouches full of chips become a pain in the rear after about the 16th one trying to smoke a 17-pound turkey on a grill like a Weber that you can't fit the lid on now.
Right.
So you're trying to, you ever do that? So now you got to figure out how to take their actual grate that comes with it, take it off, put some support system inside, not covering up all the briquettes or all the whatever you're using. I get you. You got to have a real smoker, something you at least put, a turkey in, if not a brisket.
So I started with the, little small Rectech, probably begin, it was probably, what is this, 2019?
This is the last time I checked.
So probably a year later, because I got that in 17.
Wait. We got a quick break. Hey, sorry, folks.
See ya.
See ya. He's done, man. He's heading out. Good. That's more food for me. Hey, come back. Second course coming up. Super salad. I think it's still more barbecue, but we'll be right back with Brandon Anderson. Rack Attack. Barbecue.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter at Food Biz Pro.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. Eric, we've been seeing Mojo guys over there and over here at Spoony talk about Atrantil for bloating. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
You're exactly right. The polyphenols are those molecules that we find in the Mediterranean diet. It makes vegetables and fruits very colorful. What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can actually stop inflammation. They can help you have more energy. They can help you with anti-aging. And polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Tell me how everybody should be taking Atrantil.
If you want to dose Atrantil, it's 2 capsules 3 times a day, basically with your meals. But if you aren't bloated and you just want that polyphenol intake every day, 2 to 3 capsules a day will work for you.
Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Sorry about that. I'll be right back in a minute. We're going to go to another break right now. I got about full meatball. I'm just joking. Jeff's looking at me like, you're just an idiot.
No, man, I'm going to tell you something. I've had the meatballs, and that is amazing.
Isn't that delicious?
Brother, that is with the potatoes up underneath there and stuff. I was like, what? And so I'm going back. You guys are going to be on autopilot.
No. Hey, keep talking because I got a mouthful. I just took a bite.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
was born, and but dude, seriously, those meatballs are legit. I would drive to wherever you were, and I would get myself some meatballs because that is amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Jeff was born a poor black child. You know the movie The Jerk? You know that, right?
What?
You never seen that movie?
What? I was
Steve
poor.
Martin? No. I was poor. Well, I thought we were poor.
We are.
I think I might still be poor.
These meatballs just made me rich. Are you kidding?
You know,
I'm going to take them as my own.
Hopefully one day they'll make me rich.
They're going on eBay. You need to know how to market
you know
better,
what?
man.
Actually,
I'm going to put them on eBay. We're going to make some money.
Hey, all you folks out there with some decent products, I may or may not have an in with QVC. Something like this can be frozen, smoked. The sauce
Blast freeze.
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways. You have the tunnel freezers. This is a thicker product, though. Yeah, we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Well, no, seriously. So I want to talk about that. So production, right? For commercial production, like taking a product, a gold standard recipe like this, and taking it into commercial applications. Because I brought a lot of products to market. I've developed products for Trader Joe's, Rally's grocery stores, Whole Foods. I mean, we developed them and sold them to them. A couple were custom made.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's a cool game to get into. Have the buyer before you have the product.
Right.
Make some samples.
Yeah.
Make it really good.
Oh.
Get all your production stuff down, and then get the commitment. A letter of intent, folks. LOI. That still's not binding, though. They don't have to buy your stuff. But so back to what you're saying. So we talked about chicken, the meatballs, though. Was that where we're going? Where we're going with that? We got to cut you off. Where were we? You're talking about your smoker.
So yeah, we.
Dude, I have no clue.
So I had the RecTech Mini. So a year later. Mm-hmm. So this would be middle of 2018. Yeah.
Did somebody turn the heat on here?
The air did turn off earlier.
Man.
It was good background noise for me.
You want to hang out and host while I go turn it back down?
Sure.
Keep talking.
Okay.
All right, RecTech Mini, go.
So I had a RecTech Mini. And as production, got bigger, selling more, I had to get a bigger grill.
I'll
bigger
hang
smoker.
with you, man.
There you go. I got somebody else on me.
I cannot believe he left you hanging
The guy that's never done a radio show before.
I know, right? But this is one way to break you in.
I do.
We have the new Food Biz Pro coming up. Second hour all by himself. Mr. Brandon Anderson.
We need more drinks.
Meatballs, man. That's why he's doing that, bro. You're on your own because of the
I
good
said there's
food.
a whole bottle right there. Or half bottle. Hey, by the way, the other studio over there is packed full of liquor.
All right.
Yeah, we got one listener that brings in every couple of weeks. He brings in one time he brought in over $1,000 worth of alcohol for us. It was for a big gathering here, but we have some cool fans. Cool. They're not fans, listeners. We have some cool listeners and participants. Anyway,
so back to what I was saying.
Yep.
So production got bigger. I was cooking more, accepting more caterings. So I got a Yoder smoker.
Cool. Well, I'm not going to be dainty. I'm just biting off the meatballs.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had my 250-gallon smoker. Heck, I think when I did the SCA competition, and obviously, that's 250 gallons. You're not going to crank up that firebox just for one brisket.
So the SCA being the Steak
Cook-Off Association,
right?
Yeah. So I got a Yoder smoker YS640 pellet grill, which is basically, goodness gracious, I think it's 980 square inches of cooking area. It's it's
not bad.
I could do 3 full 12-pound briskets on there.
That's good size.
Oh yeah, that's good for a pellet grill where you can set it and forget it. I got 2 kids. I mean, I use those as my my fallback. That's why I need it. I got other things to do. I gotta change diapers. I gotta make sure they don't tear up the house so the wife doesn't get pissed when she gets home. And that's just where it went. And then at that,
you were trained well, weren't you?
No,
you're just a gentleman.
Yes,
well, I knew. I knew.
I was trained well. My wife's awesome, Rachel Anderson. You get that shout out. And then also with the pellet grill, how I see it, I can change to apple pellets, cherry pellets. I did the chicken with apple only. You're not going to take it's hard to find apple or cherry wood, split wood in 16-inch logs unless you're going to Gourmet Woods in Fort Worth and, paying astronomical prices. It's just not a thing that most people do with their offset smokers. It's usually post oak or pecan or maybe mesquite. So with the pellet grills, you're able to, be a chef, get into different flavors. Whether it's, you can do all kinds. Apple. You can mix apple and cherry.
Well, you could start with one and finish with another. Right?
Yeah, and that's what I do. I start with cherry.
Okay, and then you finish with
once it's maybe foiled or it's time to just raise up to temp, no more smoke. Oh, I'll switch it out to post oak.
Yeah,
or something.
See, it's funny because I was thinking about going the other way, where I would use the more acidic. And the more, the harder, they're both hardwood, but the fruit flavored afterwards. But I don't, that's not really my my area of expertise. So why would you choose? Because I want to know, why would you choose the fruitwood first?
So when you smoke anything, for one, poultry takes on smoke a lot easier than beef.
Absolutely.
And most beef, now I'm not sure about poultry, but I can say this about beef. That smoke flavor, that beef takes on that smoke flavor probably the first 4 or 5 hours, and that's it. No more smoke is going to really penetrate. Now you're thinking about heat. So we're, 8, 9 hours in, depending on color. I don't go by temp anymore. I've kind of learned to, okay, there's the bark, it's set. Now it's time to wrap in peach butcher paper. So I wrap it, and, on my smoker, my offset, this is the big one. I have post oak, I have pecan. Post oak burns longer and burns hotter. Pecan is a little bit slower. So I'll just start chunking in post oak because I'm not trying to worry about the smoke at that point.
Did you say chunking?
Chunking, yeah. Or placing?
No. It's funny. I like what are called colloquialisms, right? Stuff that's it's words that are really similar, or particular phrases that are only used in one area. They change region by region, or they just don't exist other places. We'll get into that later.
You're a northerner, right?
I may be from somewhere up north of that Manson-Nixon line, as Robin Williams once said. But yes, so all right, so that makes absolutely sense. I'll keep talking.
So yeah, for pellet grills, it's
because if you leave that there long enough, I'll eat the other meatball out of your plate.
The wings I ain't even touched yet.
Well, I got 2 left over here because I want to talk a little bit with you. But I mean, it's interesting. It is a real science, right? And it's gotten more complex over the years.
It is.
I'm sorry, I apologize for everyone, or to everyone. Where I grew up originally, until I moved to hell, I even think when I moved to Arizona, like, I don't know, whatever grade it was, grade school, I think barbecue was basically grilling out.
Yeah, grilling ribs.
Yeah.
That's what people think about first.
But actually, we didn't even do ribs. I mean, it was grilling chicken or grilling steaks or whatever. I mean, we're going to have a barbecue. Come over. It just meant grilling out because no one up there had a smoker.
Yeah.
I only remember one smokehouse, and I never went there. It's I grew up in a little area on the Hudson River, and there's a town called Saratoga Springs that there's one main thoroughfare that goes like right through the heart of New York. It's called Route 9 North, 9N, just goes straight north, and it turns into other freeways, kind of like the mess that is Dallas-Fort Worth. You know, you got two freeways on top of each other, and then split for like a block, and then they're back on top of each other. So
sounds like Austin.
Yeah, that too. I mean,
down there.
I never know what I'm on, right?
Yeah.
I really don't. So, there's this one smokehouse. I don't even know if it's still there, but I always wanted to go there because I was already a chef when I noticed it. I've been gone from New York for 20 years or whatever, from upstate, and I never made it. But I need to look and see if it's still there because it fascinates me now to think, what were they doing there? If they'd been around for a long time, I did know that, and if they're still there, why are they still there? Because that's uncommon for a restaurant.
Yeah.
Now, steakhouses, smokehouses, that kind of stuff. You know, you become a local icon if you're first to market. That works. But nowadays, if you don't start changing things up or adding new things every 3 to 5 years to your menu, you either evolve or die for most chefs. So
you got to adapt to the change. I mean, things are changing. People's palates are changing.
So you're going to start doing that smoked watermelon thing they do out of New York? Have you seen that thing?
That's cool for pictures.
Actually,
I've never had it personally.
So I haven't either. I have some vegan friends in New York, and I'm sorry, y'all, you're missing out on a lot of good stuff. Just saying, love y'all, but you're missing out on some really good food. And it's supposed to be pretty good. I mean, he takes 4 days to make that thing because he brines it, and then they smoke it, and then they roast it. And
a lot of work for watermelon.
They score it. They take a small, little larger than a personal size watermelon. They skin it, right? They peel it, and then they take the heart and and they're seedless organic watermelons.
Right.
Blah blah blah. Well, they can only do like 5 or 10 a week because they have such small kitchens in New York, and they charge $70 or something for it too. But it feeds 4 vegans because they only eat 4 bites for dinner. But sorry, I know people are my friends are gonna all hate me. I'm sorry. Vegan is what's for dinner. No, that's watermelon. But yeah, so it's this long process, and they score it like a ham on the outside.
Yeah.
And so it's you've seen it on Instagram or wherever.
So one thing I'm going to add to my menu when I get either concession trailer where I'm serving daily, or if there's a special request, I'll do jackfruit.
Yeah, that's what's funny is
which can be pulled pork, basically.
So what's cool is I was just at the National Restaurant Association Food Show, their 100th anniversary in Chicago, and we met the people that are part of the Jackfruit Association. They're the Association of Jackfruit Growers. I don't know whatever they're called, harvesters.
Right.
I don't know, but you're right.
Ranchers.
It's a fantastic product to work with. It's very much like pulled pork if you prepare it correctly, but and it's not as hard to work with as some of the other plant-based stuff is. I mean, because making spaghetti squash look like spaghetti, or it's still spaghetti squash. It's still crunchy and it's good, but jackfruit's really cool.
It doesn't take that long to smoke and heat up either, like a pork butt or a pork shoulder.
Oh, what?
It doesn't take as long.
It's like what, 10, 12, 14, whatever it takes. Come on.
Yeah.
Do you know Sam Choi? There's a Hawaiian chef named I think it's Sam Choi. He's been around for a while, kind of like I don't know if you remember, but there's like Nobu, Japanese restaurant here in town, or Nobu, I guess we say in English. There's Nobu. There's what's the other guy's name? Roy Yamaguchi, and there's Sam Choi. Sam Choi and Roy Yamaguchi both grew up in Hawaii. Right?
Okay.
And Roy is of Japanese heritage. I think he was born in Japan, but then grew up in Hawaii and on Maui. And then Sam is the Chinese counterpart to that. There are a lot of really cool, but they gave these tricks, like, they do Kahlua pork, basically you put the whole pig in the ground. It takes forever to cook. Then you pull it out and you shred it all up, and it's pretty damn delicious. he gives basically you take pork butt and you score it deep, like an inch deep, and then you put a lot of kosher salt in there, and then you use a smoke product, basically liquid smoke of some sort. Preferably a good, real liquid smoke,
right?
Not the kit, whatever. I'm not even gonna say the name. The LS or KB. Either of those. But then you wrap it up in foil and you just bake. You can bake it in the oven real slow and low, and basically end up with actually, because when you make that pulled, I like to take a Thai chili sauce, not like sriracha, more like a Vietnamese dipping sauce. It's got sugar, lime juice, dried chili, the red chili flake, and a little bit of water. That's pretty much it. It's a super simple sauce. Right. It's Nook Mom or Nook Chom, whichever. There's one has carrots, one doesn't, basically. But I use that, and I mix that into the pulled pork, so it gives you something different. It's a little, pulled pork's not all pulled pork is equal, I have to say. But if you're just doing the standard, whatever I could afford kind of thing, and adds a little moisture to it, if you didn't get shoulder and you got butt and stuff like that, but it's functional, right? Especially if you have a restaurant that's doing 700 dinners and you're supposed to be doing a luau. In San Diego, where you can't dig a hole in the ground on Coronado Island, it worked. But those tricks like that, I mean, look, you said you told me something in the break, right? That most people wouldn't tell anybody else. Well, you're
remind me.
Well, you're a one-man show.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And you were very, very straightforward. And you said, look, I said, well, what's the key to the mashed potatoes? Because, to be honest with you, they taste pretty damn good, especially with the smoked beet mall on there and the sauce. So, and you said, hey, dude, it's Idaho packet.
Yeah. It's all how you put everything together. It's not necessarily each individual dish that you or piece that you make. It's how you mingle it all.
Yeah,
to me, and
it's a balance on the plate, right?
I don't have time to be mashing up a bunch of Idaho potatoes. I mean, to be honest, you didn't know the difference other than me telling you. So,
to be honest with you, when I was in culinary school, because I'd learned to cook pretty much in Japan, right? So I come back and I didn't finish everything there, but I was like, oh, I don't know how to cook anything except what my mom made, which was like, Salisbury steak or Swiss steak, and Salisbury steak being what you call chopped beef steak here, right, with the gravy on it.
Yeah,
that's Salisbury steak for me. So, but I mean, it was all just simple country food, and so I was like, I should probably go to school, and my instructor said, I said, what's the best way to make the mashed potatoes? He goes, oh, no, go try the blender. And I did. No, it's like paste, man.
Too blended?
Yeah, well, that starch comes out. You get it too pureed, and it's like paste. He started laughing. I almost fell on the ground.
Can't even whip it then, huh?
No, Chef Zimmerman. He's the director. Well, he was. The school closed, but he eventually became the director of the Art Institute up in Denver. Love you, man, but you're an ass. A funny man, though. Real funny man. Great chef. Oh, man, that guy he got me every time. Every time. He did put me out when my coat caught on fire in the kitchen.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, my biggest excuse for that is I focus on the meat, the bigger product of my tray.
That's the basis for barbecue.
There's a lot of time and attention to, especially ribs.
Mm-hmm.
That's why ribs on every menu is always plus $4 per person. Because ribs, you're maybe me versus other people.
Mm-hmm.
There's a wrap. You got to do the butter, the honey, the brown sugar. That's
I get it.
Brisket you leave on,
mm-hmm.
then you wrap, put it back on. Boom. Yeah. That's it. Ribs, you're taking them off.
You might have to turn the brisket once, but other than that, it's really, that's pretty much done.
So, focusing on the meat, on the money maker is, that's where my focus is for me being
just
one
don't shake
man.
it while you're here, okay, please?
Fine.
Sorry.
Fine.
Well, it's funny. I was talking about. He goes, well, I don't. What do we do? What he said, I was like, look, man, just we're a couple of teenagers in grown men's bodies. Just have fun, act like a teenager, just to obey the 3 rules, which we won't talk about. But
yes.
Well, think about them, especially at that last one. The last one, right? Yeah, well, I can't. I'm not going to tell. No, y'all got to.
Yeah.
You want to know what the 3 rules? Well, come on the show. I'll tell you. But
ho ho ho.
Yes, he exists.
Waiter, can we get more ice? I'm just kidding.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, well, we got a break coming up in 11 minutes.
I'm joking.
Here, take some out of there with your fingers. Here, use this chocolate spoon. Seriously, it's a chocolate spoon. It's edible. It won't melt.
We'll eat it later.
Won't melt in there. So anyway, I digress. I had a story to tell you. What was the story I was going to tell you about? Well, no, we were talking about something at the beginning of the segment. I said, no, let's go back to it. We were talking about the smoker, and then we were talking about the wings and the meatloaf, and oh man,
I'm going to share I will share the meatball recipe whenever you're ready.
Go for it. I'm ready.
Let's make me a drink first.
That is a true man of the kitchen right there.
Pass the whiskey.
He's like, oh, well, you want whiskey? I'm sorry. It'd be $5, sir.
Unless you got vodka and Red Bull.
Would you like a straw? So I was talking about this company on the air yesterday. The name is Hay Straw. Hay Straws. They're these are straws made out of hay. So you can put it in the water. Don't put it in the Coke.
Is it going to disintegrate?
No. So what happens? Leave it in there and just take a couple sips out of it. Put it in the water though.
Oh, sorry.
No, I just think it won't hurt it. It'll stay in there. So just leave it in there. Now take a couple sips through it. What happens as it gets wet from the inside out? Okay, you got to stir it up. As you try it, see how it tastes. What happens as it because it's brittle right now because it's actually straw. It's hay. And that's not extruded. It's not chopped up and bound with something and extruded into the shape of a straw. It's one piece of a stalk. And a very cool company. They won some innovation awards at the Food NRA show. But
okay,
I'm telling you, man, that show is just amazing. There's so much stuff to see. They had 2,600 vendors or 20, I don't know, a ridiculous amount of vendors. But that was one of the coolest things. All right. Remember we talked about washing our hands earlier?
Yeah.
They have this cool. I did not talk about this earlier, and I know we're getting a little off topic, but because I know the meatball recipe in a second.
We got 2 hours.
Exactly. Well, we got an hour and 9 minutes left now. I know it goes quick. You're like, What are we going to do for 2 hours? We drink and talk about food. It's like most grown men should do.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, they have this cool technology. It's a machine that you mount in the bathroom. And it can be, I guess it can be publicly mounted or maybe a little privately mounted, or you could put it in the kitchen for when you return from the restroom, whether front of the house or back of the house staff. The cool thing is you put your hands under there, and it has this technology which identifies bacteria. And it counts how many, it shows, it detects like norovirus, which is a class of virus, which is like the really bad food poisoning where it's just like, explosive both directions.
Spray Lysol on your hand?
Yeah. No, so what's cool, though, so it also has facial recognition. So if an employee goes to the restroom, they come back, they have to put their hands in the machine. Okay, so but what it does is it tells you, okay, either wash again or perhaps you may have something in your body that is a risk factor to the public.
Wow.
And so if you wash them again, you come back. I did not have this conversation. I did not go to the booth. I will, however, have them here on the phone in the next couple of weeks. But it's cool because you can identify patient zero, at least within your restaurant, if something happens.
Wow.
If you get a foodborne illness, right? Or an outbreak. Also, if somebody keeps going to the restroom and at the end of the week, you're like, Joe, you had 0 logins to check your hands. Did you wash your hands this week at all? And he's like, yeah, man, I washed my hands. I'm like, are you? Okay. I don't think so. But that way, basically, it's a requirement that you wash your hands and have them checked because remember, employees must wash their hands before returning to their workstation.
That sign. Yeah,
you know how many employees I see walk into the restroom with their apron still on, sling it over their shoulder
all day,
and then a towel hanging over the 2 towels, usually a wet one and a dry one, right? Because you got to have one on, but leave the wet one on the counter. Damn it, leave the dry one there too when you go to the bathroom. Take the apron off.
Yeah.
That's why at Central Market, when you go to restrooms, they have employee hooks out.
Market Street.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, well, any kind of place like that. But yeah, it's common sense. You don't wear the apron in the bathroom, please.
You're just splashing everywhere.
Well, and look, you can't. There's no surefire way to prevent foodborne illnesses, but we in the industry have a responsibility to do a lot, and there is a lot we can do. So, yeah. Meatball recipe, dude. Let's get off the germ thing because I'll tell you, I had an experience of that stuff one time I never want to talk about. I will never I may publicly discuss. Okay, I'll probably publicly discuss it, but it hasn't been enough number of years yet. I'm not there. So, okay. And I'm going to see if there's any questions or comments we need to respond to, maybe. It's so weird. Facebook, you can't see any comments. All right. They can't respect your protein, Luisa Bertotti. Respect your protein. That's funny. You know her?
Mm-mm.
Me either. I don't know. And you know what? I'm wearing contacts, which means I can pretend I see. They're new. These are really thin contacts. And I'm like, yeah, I know Richard Brandt because I know his profile picture. Oh, Rachel Anderson. That's got to be. Yeah, she's yes.
That's
there
the
you
wife.
Go. Aha. Aha. I'm here somewhere, Richard. All right.
So I got 4 watching me.
I got 10 over here.
Heather and Brandon. It's refreshing.
We got 10 total.
Okay.
Right now on this one, so we're good, dude. You got. I mean, that's a lot right now. You're gonna have a good day. And here's a good thing. Wait a couple of days, and then when this thing is no longer a live video, host another watch party, and then you can sit there and invite all the people. You can just go down and list, invite, scroll, invite.
That's what Trey does.
Oh, Trey, we learned your secret.
Trey Chapman.
Dude, can I tell you what? Before we get to the meatball recipe, I love Trey's a cool guy.
Dude, yes.
What is unbelievable to me is that guy gets up, and he runs, between running and walking, he makes sure he puts in 8 miles a day. Well, because he eats a lot. I mean, that guy's out every night. He's out multiple times a day. He doesn't sleep. He's a beast. He drives up to the ranch. He sleeps from midnight or 1 till 3 a.m. At 3 a.m., he starts his social media posting.
Yeah, I see it at 5:30, but yes.
Yeah, well, he doesn't post it at 5:30.
He's got like 5 profiles to post.
Well, yes, he's got what, drinking with Trey, Trey's Chat On Live. He got them all.
Yep.
He's starting to get some traction, and he's hosting multiple watch parties per video. He's doing every few days. By the way, Trey, yes, the 2 videos that I owe you will be up today since I'm no longer cutting clips, man. I can do that in about a half an hour. Yeah. Trey, well, I'll cut clips for you this time, too, if you need me to.
Trey, you need to have me on.
Yeah, he does. He does, actually. Yeah, Trey. He's fed us twice now. He fed me twice anyway. Yeah, he's a good guy. He works hard.
He's down to earth.
He promotes this region, this area, this city. Well, both Dallas and Fort Worth. Because I know there's that dividing line.
There is.
It's where the east stops and the west begins, which I'm not sure where that is. I think that's on the west side of Fort Worth, by the way, being a Yankee. Because it's kind of like, well, it's the difference between Scottsdale and Phoenix. No, not really. That's snootiness. Okay, I lived in Arizona for a long time. Dallas, Fort Worth, y'all just get along. Man, it's not like everybody fights over it. It's kind of that funny, silly little rivalry that's
there's
like
plenty
the Twin
of food
Cities.
for everybody.
Well, that's the cool thing about it. On that note, you get about 3 minutes. Give us a recipe real quick.
Okay.
If we'll carry it over. If not, we got another hour.
So depending on how big you make the meatballs, this recipe is geared towards, I think, 30. I got to look at my notes. I got so many notes of different recipes. I mean, I can't memorize them all with everything going on. But I think you could do about 32 small meatballs with this recipe. So it's a pound of pork, natural pork, wherever you get it from. I get mine from H-E-B for this because this is a small deal. I'm not going through my distributor. So I get 1 pound of natural pork, 1 pound of prime chuck, ground chuck, Asiago cheese, which I grate into it, 1 half red bell pepper, 2 cloves of garlic, not garlic. What is that? Garlic.
It's okay, 2 cloves of garlic. Trust me, it works every time.
That was backwards, right?
I didn't have anything. No, I'm sober, Ossifer. I had nothing to drink.
Wow. So
I drive Lyft every night, sober as it can be.
So 2 cloves of garlic.
Come on, dude, I can't understand what I say myself half the time. It's okay.
2 eggs, 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. You can do Italian, you can do
panko,
garlic and herb.
Yeah.
Panko to me is a little bit chunky.
And also takes a lot of moisture out.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot. Well, in theory, right, you need less of it. So, but it doesn't break down. It leaves bigger chunks if you don't break it up right.
So basically, the Asiago cheese, the bell pepper, garlic, pound of pork, pound of ground chuck, or any beef, whatever you like. You can do Wagyu, ground beef, whatever you want.
You kidding me?
Yeah, ground chuck for sure. No ground sorry one. So you take that, and then also a 1/2 cup of your favorite chicken seasoning. Now we're talking about meat, beef. Well, you just got to add that different profile to kind of balance it out and make it
your
not
own.
So beefy.
Make it your own.
So you take that, put in a KitchenAid blender or any blender, or you can use your hand. I got a KitchenAid, so I'll use it. Blend it all up, get it all tacky, about 1 minute. Make it into balls. I mean, it's pretty simple. Adding that red bell pepper really,
I like that.
Really balances the freshness with the beef, I guess you would say.
It does. It lightens it up a little bit. It adds a little bit of that sweetness, and there's a flavor in peppers that it's not astringent, but it's clean. It's really clean.
Yes.
With that hint of sweetness, especially in red bell peppers.
Yeah, red bell
Of course,
peppers.
that makes all the difference. So, well, real quick, let's go down the line. Thank you. What do you cook them at? You make them start about 2 inches across. What temp? 350?
225.
Oh, you're smoking them. So I'm thinking. As a chef, I'm thinking hot kitchen.
And it only takes an hour and a half. That's it.
So we say Richard Brandt, Rachel Anderson. We got Marie Daniel. Hello, Summy Schick. How about pulled pork burgers? Why?
Pulled pork burgers.
Let's talk about that.
Now, we can do a pulled pork sandwich. I don't know. I guess how would we take the shredded pork and make it into a patty that stays together?
You got to bind it. So let's talk about whether that's feasible or not.
Okay.
So we got to call for in relation to raw or malting. I don't know. Have to check out Travis. All right, we'll be right back in a minute. Chef Patrick Mosher, Food Biz Pro, here we got Brandon Anderson of Rack Attack Barbecue. We'll be right back. We're going to talk more food, fun, frivolous information. Probably, a lot of Trivial Pursuit today. Come right back. We'll be back in 4.
This is the only 24-hour take-anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Washington is still obsessed with Wednesday's drama at the White House.
House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy placing blame for the collapse of the infrastructure talks squarely on the shoulders of the Speaker.
The president didn't go to a microphone and claim that Speaker Pelosi was covering something up. The Speaker did. So for the idea to continue to say that to the American public is irresponsible.
Nancy Pelosi says it wasn't her allegations of a cover-up that set off the president. It was something else.
The White House is just crying out for impeachment. That's why he flipped yesterday.
Pelosi says she's concerned for the welfare of the president, and she wishes his family or staff would have an intervention for, in her words, the good of the country.
Capitol Hill correspondent Wally Hines reporting. In Jefferson City, Missouri, resident Austin Thompson, whose apartment complex was damaged by a tornado, says after it passed through town, he went outside to look at the damage.
Maintenance shed's completely leveled down there. Roof on the main office is gone. Look over, there's one building that's basically 1 story now. Every building there is 2 story. This one building is 1 story now. My building, my room, every piece of sheetrock, every window's blown out.
More than 80 people staying in shelters in central Missouri after the tornadoes ripped through the region, twisters causing significant damage in Missouri's capital city of Jefferson City, and in Eldon, 3 people were killed in Golden City. Meanwhile, 2 barges that broke loose on the swollen Arkansas River have struck a dam in Oklahoma. At least one of those sank into the river. Also at townhall.com, starting today and extending through Monday, an estimated 43 million Americans will take to the highways, airways, and railways. Traditionally, the extended Memorial Day weekend marks the start of the summer travel vacation season in the U.S. On Wall Street, the Dow down 400 points now. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
It's a funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone. RIDUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism, so you're burning more.
Yeah,
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now. and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. That's 800-218-6473.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
And we are back. We're back. It is the, what's the third course, main course. It's about time we got to the chicken and meatballs, man. Actually, I have to tell you, you did save something back there that we haven't shared. Well, did you move it and hide it?
No, it's still there.
Okay. They eat out of it? Did you wrap it up, keep it tight?
Yeah, I don't think no one took a slice.
Okay. Well,
just me and you.
You can. You did that to half chicken. That's
half chicken.
Oh, yeah. Man. So I like to take, I like smoked chicken and shred, just pull it off the carcass and throw it on a salad. That's one of my favorite meals. We had to do that up in Arkansas at Fred's Hickory Inn that did the smoked sirloin.
Yeah.
Except we had to do it like 40 times a lunch, and we pulled them all by hand every order. Well, you don't want it to get dry, because we had to hold them through in a hot box through the meal period. So, hey, we got good numbers today, man. We held 10 on mine through the break. It dropped 2. Hey, whoever dropped off, what the hell, man? Get back on here and watch. It only takes 3 seconds to count as a view.
I walked out of the room.
Oh,
I wasn't there.
Oh, there is a lag. Actually, there is a lag too. It's about 45 seconds. So,
excuse me, just a sec. Sorry.
No,
yeah. No, I hear you guys 10, 15. So, I mean, really? I've got like 1,237 on mine right now.
Well, we see how many are watching at any given time, but yeah. Is that the reach or views?
No, that's me, my page. See, when you guys do your show, I do my show behind the scenes. I have a Spoony behind the scenes page. You guys don't even know about.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing. I'm really we can't talk about that, man. That's part of the Forky programming. That's the late night stuff we can't talk about, right?
Right.
That's why we chose Spoony, because it was not as risque. We've had this talk before, and we've had this talk several times.
Sound like you said something else.
So I have bronchitis right now, so I can barely breathe, let alone talk. And Jeff and I have a special relationship, so he's always making it hard at me for some reason.
I don't know why you would say that. What I want to know is, listen, in the last segment, he gave out the recipe for the meatballs, right?
Which we have an addendum to for in a minute. So
okay, so really the question I have, I mean, thanks for the recipe, I appreciate it, but really what I want to know is, when are you going to make them again, and where do I go to be able to get them? Because I'm serious, dude. Money.
I think Chef Mosher, it's Mosher, right? I'm not chopping it. Okay.
I mean, you can say Mosher, Mosher. I don't really.
I'm down to do this again.
You don't call me Peter, Paul, or any other P names besides Patrick. We're good.
We can do this next week. The next week, he could put these in production, and y'all could order them from somewhere online, and
that's what I'm saying.
Thaw them out and put them on the grill and oven, whatever.
Now, have you tried freezing these before?
No, but I don't see no problem with it.
So what if you do though, two recommendations when you do that. What's your binder? You no egg? Just
I use 2 eggs in that whole
mix. Okay, So I would probably go with. Do you put any moisture in, like ice cubes or anything like that? Ground ice. You might want to put just a touch in there, because when it freezes, you want to keep some moisture in the center. That's why when you get those frozen meatballs, they're so dense. And you might. You don't have to, but it might. Even just a little bit of water will work. Okay. Just cold water. Make sure it's cold. And then, because we used to do like 100-pound batches of meatballs, and they try to mix it in you had to mix it in the Hobart, but you only go so far with it, because otherwise it would, it turns into paste, because it takes all the fat. It's cold, so the fat starts to stick to the paddle.
Right.
And then when you pull the meat out, then it's a lot drier, because you've taken all the fat out of the ground beef. So,
sure.
So that, and then maybe cook just a little under. These are perfect.
And that's why there's pork in there to add that fat as well as the ground chuck.
So I used to use veal, pork, and
I almost bought a pound of veal.
And chuck is, I mean, not chuck, but brisket, basically. You know. Okay. So that I used those three to make my meatloaf. It's not. It doesn't suck.
There's one barbecue place that's about to open that is doing a Wagyu meatloaf on their menu, on their barbecue menu.
So, okay, here's the thing. Wagyu really is so fatty, especially when you get up into like A4, A5 stuff.
Yeah.
So they classify it by the amount of fat between the muscle, it's basically like the sinew between the tissue, but there's no sinew, it's just fat. And the Wagyu, well, you know the cattle they have here at Heart Brand? Is that Heart Brand?
Yeah, Heart Brand.
Okay.
Yep.
They're the red. The
Akaushi.
Akaushi, that's the red. They say it's brown. It's actually red. Aka means red. They graze on grass only. They're not corn finished. I mean, they may be corn finished, but they get fatty on their own, walking around normally in the hill country, right? Eating nothing but grass. The way that their body metabolizes, whatever their intake is, it goes right to the fat cells. And so when you look at Wagyu, the really high grade stuff, it's white almost, right? With little tiny pockets of what would be barely called beef in between the white. And that's why I'm wondering how that's going to be. It's got to be delicious. However, well done Wagyu typically doesn't taste good. Now, maybe when it's ground and you add the other ingredients in, maybe you can maintain the moisture. But I'm curious. I want to go there.
Yeah, he is using Wagyu Excelente is the the brand.
Where's that one out of? I know
that's Derek Allen's Texas Barbecue. I think I said that right.
Because I know like Gary Yamamoto from Yama Beef. Do you know him? He's a famous bass fisherman. He's got a whole bunch of bass lures out. He's got a whole line of lures, and I'm sure he's got lines and poles and all that stuff. He was a very famous bass fisherman, but his family's from Japan, and he has a ranch north of Dallas somewhere here. And what was cool is you could buy like the non-primal cuts, like the odd pieces.
Yeah.
Back when like a baseball cut, or like a tri-tip. Those things weren't really popular. You could buy them like 40 cents on the dollar in value, and you just ship them to you. Give you this random box of 30 pounds of meat, and you're like, oh, what'd I get? Tenderloin tips. Oh, and it's like Christmas. It's like that kid that makes $21 million a year, the 8-year-old on YouTube, the little unboxing, whatever he does. Yeah, he's in Houston. God. So there's another Dude Perfect. Those guys that do they like throw the basketball from the top of the roof 40 stories up.
Is that real?
It is. So they use physics.
They're awesome.
Physics. They're smart. But they get like 20 million views per video. But that little boy made 20, I think it was 21 million last year. I mean, his family.
Wow.
Smart parents.
Either way.
Yeah. Man, cute little kid opening up toys, going, and playing with them and giving an honest review. It's like Christmas every day. Yes. And it's unbelievable. Wow. I need to do something like that. Hey, it's too bad Jeff and I didn't have an idea like that. Didn't we? We did have an idea like that. Actually, and part of that came from, I have to give credit to Andrea Favilli of Favilli Studios and his lovely wife, Camille. He's a brilliant man. He actually did that logo right there, that Spoony logo. And he's a former Disney Imagineer, and they have these wonderful studios. They've been very helpful in helping me try to develop a show that people want to listen to. So a shout out to them, and hopefully that'll get you on the conference call today if you're listening. Because we've had to postpone like 4 days in a row. But Jeff, we did have an idea, which I know don't even.
Me. And then I presented it to you, and you were like, yeah, that's a great idea. We should do that. I'd be like, hey, Patrick, Chef, you ready to do that? And he's, let's do that tomorrow because I am blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't hit the mute button on that.
Actually, that's going to make me really cough if I do that again. But no. So they had, I'd say consulting. We're trading out services, right? They're working on a project I can help with. They're helping me with content and not content, but more format. And we had talked about short form. And I need more stuff that's quick, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 2 minutes. So we're going to start we have some kitchen gadgets. The first one's going to be knives. So why are knives shaped a specific way and what's the use? And why? So they're all shaped in a specific manner and certain types of steel because that's how they function best.
All
right. So that'll be one of them. And then just kitchen tools. We'll grab, like rubber spatula. Or everybody's got a pasta machine in the cabinet, right? Got a pasta machine in the cabinet. Well, how come you never used it? Is it really that difficult? Does it work? It's a pain in the butt to clamp on, I'll tell you that, because I've used them in restaurants. It's easier on the home counter than the stainless steel tables because they always have that lip underneath. And so, but that kind of stuff, it'll be fun. And we're not gonna have anybody donate anything. It's gonna be all honest, like consumer reports, but fun, a little lighthearted. There's no nothing to gain or lose from this, just an honest opinion. So
not a
people know
paid
how to
endorsement.
No, and and people don't even know what's the difference between like a scraper, right, and a rubber spatula and a scraper.
Now, scraper, in my sense, is the one I could use to chop up or pick up the chopped beef.
So a dough scraper?
There you go.
So,
dough scraper.
So dough scraper, there's metal and then there's plastic, right?
Yeah.
So the plastic have a rounded side and then they have the other. So one's for cutting, one's for scraping, right? And then you have the metal ones that have a big handle and they're, dough divider or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Well, dough divider is actually the big thing that you press the lever down. It makes 16 pieces of whatever you're like 16 biscuits out of one big chunk of dough. Those things are bad.
Dang.
Just keep your hand out of it.
Easier than
yeah, exactly. That's what I said the first time I saw him was at Culinary School. I was like,
talk about production.
Wow, man, I didn't know they made this kind of stuff. Like, what do you think that commercial bakeries do? I said, I don't know. I don't want to be a commercial baker. I didn't really think I needed to. But yeah, there's all these cool gadgets, and I was thinking about that the other day. I saw you walk in right there. Whoa, did we start back at the beginning again or something? No, okay. We're way behind on my my watch party for some reason. It's I don't know. It's not. Well, I'm way. Oh, there we go. Now we're back live. It was like a minute off, or like
mine's off too.
We were like 10 minutes off, or 15 minutes off. It freaked me out for a minute. I'm like, we just deja vu. I saw that scene before. I wasn't here. You walked in, waved at the camera. Huh? Well, he did it again, and I'm sitting here. How do you do that without me seeing that? Anyway, that'll be fun. We'll do that. Knives I love because each knife does have a very specific shape for a specific function, and it was cool. I saw that. You ever have a problem like sharpening knives, a pain in the rear?
I have a what is it, Ken Onion Work Sharp sharpener. Mm-hmm. I don't know too much on. I use one particular belt on it, which I think I'm supposed to use a finer than a coarser.
Okay, so
but either way, it just needs to cut my meat. That's all. So yeah, I am a rookie on sharpening myself.
Well, so in restaurants we typically have a tri-stone, right? So it's basically
a wet block, right?
Yeah, and you use oil, right? Yeah, and it's mineral oil, right? Food grade mineral oil. And there's a really low grit. It's like 200 or 500 or whatever it is. Then you have like an 800, and then you got like a 2000 or somewhere. I don't know what it is.
Gotcha.
But basically, you have one is a grindstone, and then the next one is kind of a finishing, and then you have a polish. And you just turn that stone.
Right.
It's got three sides on it. But it's not a stone. It's three stones connected to this looks like a Ferris wheel, but it's only three-sided.
Okay.
I'm just trying to make it easy, and it's just got three little things on it. But you pick it up and you turn it. The thing is, those things get dropped, they break, the case breaks. I saw this thing after. I'm gonna look for the company here in a minute. There was a chef. He's the one of the members of the Swedish national culinary team. So they compete in like the Culinary Olympics. The Bocuse d'Or, Paul Bocuse, the badass that died last year. That guy was so cool. He was like 70-something years old. He had a rooster tattooed on his shoulder. Like it was very cool. And it was like the colors of France.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a cool guy.
Nice.
Anyway, he's the father of modern French cuisine, and they named the Culinary Olympics after him. And they took first place. It wasn't the Culinary Olympics last year. They will be going to them in 2020 though, and they should be winning. They should do really well there if they don't sweep. Anyway, so he's saying, and he's got this cool sharpener, and it's basically a big grindstone, and it's it's on the big motor that spins it. I don't know how many 2,000 RPM, whatever it is. Could be 40,000 RPM. I don't know. It wasn't flying off, and it wasn't whining, going zzz. I'm guessing about 2,000, 6,000. What happened was they had this cool. I never let anybody use a grindstone in the kitchen, not even the old foot grindstones. The pumping, you ever seen those? I've never used them. I've seen them, but I've never used one. I've just seen. It's like when you go to a Renaissance Festival, then you see them there. But what it had is this guide that you put the knife into, and you can adjust it to however many degrees you want to sharpen your knife to, and then you just put the knife in and you pull it through that.
That's
a few times.
Mine is.
Yeah, and then
guide.
Yeah, and this thing, and so that the grindstone it's about 10 inches across. It spins. Then you put the knife in the other side, and then on the opposite side of that wheel, there's a smaller wheel, which is just a polish wheel. I don't think it's leather. It's probably a rubber material, but you just run your knife, and that takes off all those burrs. Because when you look at a knife, you ever look at a knife under a microscope? Like,
I don't want to.
No. I mean, it's interesting.
I wipe it off after I'm done sharpening, yes, but if I didn't, There's no telling what we would see.
Well, it's kind of cool. So then the see, I like this geeky crap, right? I'm full of useless information. I have a membership to the Useless Information Society.
Knowledge is power.
Do you know the Useless Information Society? Their mascot is the squirrel. And the reason it's the squirrel is not because the squirrel tastes good, because it does. Joe Wilson, thanks to you, I know a lot more about squirrel cooking than I used to. Oh, shoot. I got to call him today. I got a question. Do you know anybody, hey, listeners here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I need a place outdoors, maybe on a ranch. It has to be within 30 to 40 minutes or maybe within an hour of the Metroplex area, okay? Preferably kind of on the, like from Fort Worth straight across to Irving or Central Dallas south, maybe from there towards 35. All right, so 45 to 35 and 121, 183, 114 south. Maybe Eagle Lake would be within play as well.
Okay.
All right, so here's what we need. We need an outdoor venue that's kind of rustic. Maybe there could be some trees or forest. A ranch setting would be great. And I know there's one down here off 35 that a very family actually owns around here. A friend of mine, Josh, introduced me, but it's just not. It's too close to the highway, and you see the hospital behind it, right?
Okay.
It's where that big Love's is down here on 35.
Yeah.
Okay, so it didn't work. What I need is they're gonna. My buddy Joe Wilson out of Bentonville, Arkansas. He is the creator and the MC and the well, he's not the judge actually anymore of the World Champion Squirrel Cook-Off every year. I think they're going to year 8, and I'll tell you, I did, and I've talked about it on the air. I did squirrel sushi. Yeah, she's like,
no, I'm down.
Yeah, so well,
cook it right.
So yeah, well, that's the thing. You got to cook it. Sushi doesn't mean anything raw. It just means vinegared rice. So I made hand rolls. We basically deboned the entire squirrel, flattened it out between some parchment paper, and then I put a tiny bit of salt, and then a whole bunch of Chinese 5-spice. And then just seared that thing on a flat top, just so it's just cooked through, but a little crispy on the outside. Yeah. And then I kind of julienned it up and put it in the hand roll with a really finely julienned cucumber, a little avocado. I put in a shiso leaf, which is the Japanese. You ever seen those green leaves they put on the Japanese food on plates? Yeah. They pop them and they put them down. They put the sashimi on there. Yeah. Well, I put one of those in there, and then I made a maple teriyaki sauce. Because hey, that's where they live, in oak trees. So. It's not maple, I know, but there's no maple trees up in Arkansas.
Sounds good.
I know, but it's good because it's chicken of the tree. It is limb chicken. It's damn good. You ever had squirrel?
I haven't.
Really?
I'm down to eat whatever.
It's a lot like rabbit. You've had rabbit. Yeah. It's really lean, but it's tender. It doesn't get all stringy and dry.
Do people eat squirrel nuts? Is that real or is that just a saying?
You know what? I don't know if I want to know. Joe Wilson, I'm going to put you on task here. Do people eat squirrel nuts? But he's going to do a squirrel cooking demo, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Randy, I think Randy knows. Trey probably knows. A few people might know. But I don't want to. But this Australian show is coming to town, and they're filming him doing this. They found his antics on some sort of video feed, maybe on Facebook or YouTube, at the Squirrel Dairy, which is better known as his property. And it's. But anyway, I need a nice area that we can build a small fire pit. And he'll just put his grate up above it, and he's going to show us how to cook this particular part of a squirrel. It's not squirrel nuts.
So you need an outdoor venue.
It doesn't have to be a venue. Just like I need a little place that can be next to. I don't know. Is there any creeks or rivers around here? There's somebody on some property up against that. What they don't want to see is a lot of houses in the background. They don't want to see the city in the background. Look, you can film that shot tight. You don't have to be. It's videography. But if anyone out there, please email me at chefpatrick@spoony.com, chefpatrick@spoony.com. If you know Brandon, if you know Randy White, if you know, Kent Rathbun from Emoto and, all his lovely restaurants, or, Trey, any of them, please I need to know.
Go to Trey's Ranch.
That's too far. It's like 3.5 hours away.
Oh,
yeah, that's a big old beautiful ranch. I saw him out there one of them. Hello, and he's like, how can you not be happy?
Right.
And I'm like, dude, we don't all live on. You know what? I am a happy guy.
Watching the video.
I'm a Sagittarius, right? No, we are all sunshine and roses. Doesn't matter what we face. We wake up every day. We put a smile on, and we have a good time, even when it's not a good time. We do because we know it's all going to work out in the end.
Yep.
So if you know something like that, please, I appreciate your help. Again, it doesn't have to be super remote. It just has to look like it's a non-city setting. That's
Yeah,
all.
for sure.
Oh man,
I might know a place in Hillsboro.
How far is that?
That's 45 minutes. That's
fine.
45 minutes south of Burleson, which Burleson is 18 minutes from here. So
That's okay.
I mean, that's
well,
within an
Burleson's
hour.
south though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. 'Cause
It's
I
right
think-
off of 35.
Well, I think they're actually. So Burleson's actually where that ranch is I'm talking about, right there.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's right next to the hospital. I don't want to say
Yeah,
the
by
name of the
Hughley.
people. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
I knew you were talking about Hughley that loves at Garden Acres.
Yeah, well, yeah, and they're really nice people, and they have ranches all over, but their other ranches are too far away. They have some beautiful rolling hills and creeks and rivers, but hey, damn it, let's talk about some more food.
Okay, so
besides
barbecue.
squirrel.
I want to
Yeah.
throw something out there. I saw somebody give me a wave. Kathy Hudgens. She's the principal at Ben Barber Technical School. I might have said that all wrong, but Ben Barber Technical School. They got a culinary school in Mansfield. So there's a Texas High School Barbecue Association. So
That's cool right there.
So there's high school teams that are there's high schools that have teams that are competing in barbecue. So it's like an adult circuit, but a high school circuit. And
My son's school had a rifle team.
I think they first had their first, actual state cook-off this year, and then they had a regional, a few months back. And I will actually be, I'm hoping to be a mentor for one of the high schools of MISD.
Very cool.
This coming season, because these kids are new; they're culinary students. They are culinary.
Are they the Pro Start program? Do you know?
I do not know.
So the Pro Start program is basically it's a Head Start program for youth that want to be in the culinary industry, and it may or may not be. It doesn't matter. I think the fact that they're teaching them.
They are in Pro Start because they just went to Washington D.C.
They have a big one of the national
last year or last week. They had awards.
Okay, so that was
yeah.
probably the national. They won some regional or national competition,
Which wasn't the barbecue
No,
specified team, but it was part of the culinary curriculum. So
Awesome.
they are mixed and mingled into the big stuff.
It's awesome. Pro
So
Start's a
that is,
great program, by the way.
That's something that's happening nowadays. Is all these high schools are getting these kids to learn how to build fires, how to not be on their phones, not be stuck on playing on video games. Whether it's out for me, I would want my kid out hunting or cooking now that I'm into cooking.
Yeah.
But other than being on the phone and playing Fortnite on the computer.
On the
computer.
No, but here's the thing. I don't even know what Fortnite is. Here's the funny
It's a video
thing.
game.
So I am probably the suckiest video game player ever, and I had the regional Atari. Way back
Well, that's okay.
when. Dude, I have not owned a console since then. Now, my kids did. Well, actually, my son, he couldn't have anything but the Wii or like the handheld stuff until I think he was 14 or 15. I was like, you won't do your homework ever again, son. Sorry. I love you, but I know you. And my son, I had great kids. They're pretty spectacular people. Did that thing never post? Yeah, it did post. Okay. I saw something. It looked like it did not post to my page, but I'm like, I was just watching the watch party. I know it's not the watch party, but I'm watching the video.
So look at my watch party. You still have a bib on. How long ago was that?
Well, you can probably, you might be able to, like, if you hit like you're trying to touch the screen and try and scroll forward all the way to the right.
It's saying that's live.
Here. Well, it is live, but let's keep going to the right. I don't know.
As long as all my friends know what I'm doing.
Here's the thing.
There's a joke in here
Yeah,
somewhere.
you know what it is? It's like chefs should not be allowed to touch technology other than using a phone as a phone or to text or to send an email.
I even think the text and email for you, Chef, has been a little challenging in the past.
No, I'm good with the email, and I'm good with. And I have like 1, 2, 3, 4. I have like 6 email addresses. Of course, I'm one of those guys who still has an AOL account. No, because my family and my friends from Japan and that was the only. AOL was the only thing out there back then.
We're back.
What else did you have? Nothing but AOL, right? So I didn't have to. I'm gonna have to get rid of it. That thing's like $26 a month now. And I'm like, who the hell pays for? Well, I do. I'm the idiot that still pays for internet. Shame on me. Yes, I'm slapping my own hand, folks. There you go. Sometimes you get it wrong. I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
That's okay.
Oh God, I cracked myself up. I wish I could remember what that story was. But hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about production, right? And a few other things. And one of the things I really like to do is mentor people or we had a client like in Ecuador. They were exporting shrimp and tilapia, and they had organic, all natural tilapia. They're one of the bigger families in Ecuador, but they were just selling them as a commodity, right? And the margins were low. They're making 15% maybe on that commodity. And by the time you get that money, because you're out, 6-month payment terms these guys are buying containers of shrimp. I mean, containers like 40,000 pounds, a full container, 40-foot LD40. And so we came up with some value added stuff for them. That's where we got to do like Trader Joe's and started doing that. But there are ways to do that. And there are ways to local farmers market. As a matter of fact, there's a woman I know from Tomball, Texas, just north of Houston, Luisa. Forgot her last name right now, but she's got Luisa's Pasta, and that was her restaurant. She's got a wholesale pasta company, but that's what she sells. 80% of what she sells at the farmers markets. She's making a couple thousand pounds of pasta a week right now. So you too could be successful if you try and know what the hell you're doing, or just call me. Anyway. We'll be right back. Again, we're here with Brandon Anderson, pitmaster, right there at Rack Attack Barbecue. And yes, I have to look because I don't want to say attack the rack, so I don't want to get chastised. We'll be right back. 2 minutes, folks. Come right back.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter at Food Biz Pro. Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
And folks, you are back for the fourth and final course. It's okay, dude. I got this, man. It's great. So no rush. Here, we're making notes. So because we grown men or children in men bodies can't remember what we're supposed to do for the end, who we need to give shout outs to. So we're making some notes. And I can't tell you what. Well, I have this favorite resource for food stories that I go to every day. Actually, I just don't always talk about them. And I'm gonna read the headline. I'm not gonna go to the story. And we can just guess what it's about. I don't even think I want to know. But the first one is, you remember Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Rocky, watch me. Or, hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of this hat. And he pulls out a line. He goes, I guess didn't know my own strength. Well, the title of this one. So what it is, these people find headlines, and then they create a headline, like a clickbait headline. And then they submit it to this site, and then they compile them. And this one is like, hey, Rocky, watch me pull a burger out of my sandwich. I'm not sure I want to know what that story is. Matter of fact, I can guarantee I don't want to read it because I want to go. I saved one piece of chicken out there, so yeah, when we're done with the show, I can. Here's another one. Science spills the beans on the best times of day to drink coffee. Yeah, isn't that anytime? I don't drink that much caffeine anymore because I get all sweaty and run around the room. And I did. You saw me drink a cup of coffee, and then the AC stopped, and I'm like,
"You're sweating."
Oh my god, it's like 400. I know, it's like eating habaneros before I come on the show. I did. Oh my gosh, I was on the other in the other studio, the Mojo 5 Hour sister channel, and I ate this ghost pepper jam, which actually they treat the pepper in a way that removes most of the heat, the mouthfeel heat.
Okay.
And it really wasn't, it was no hotter than a jalapeno, maybe somewhere between jalapeno and serrano. It wasn't even habanero.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I love the flavor, but I'll tell you what, I don't know if the capsicum gets in your system, and I was sweating from the inside out. Literally, like 2 minutes later, Matt's like, dude, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm just a little warm in here because you are drenched, and it was like pouring down my face. You know, I'm like, crank the AC down. Matt's nipples are hard over there, and I'm like, I'm like, no, you don't have to pour it down. Just bring me a towel. But I mean, you've seen those people that eat those ghost chilies,
yeah.
And no offense, I like hot stuff, but if I can't taste for a day after, are you a hot guy?
I like spicy.
Like that spicy?
I mean, yeah.
I know. God, man, we made that joke earlier. There you go. Yeah, that's about right.
I like spicy.
I like spicy. You like spicy? I like spicy. You like spicy music? I like spicy. What's that? You like Caribbean music? Oh, I forgot what somebody said that in the news. All right, so plastic syrup. Oh, that's a sponsored link. The sponsored ones are stupid. Okay, I'm just not reading them. Cooking 101: the proper technique for grilling a chicken breast is not cut and dried. Really? We call that tasty. Tasty.
The app. Tasty?
No. It's I can't tell the joke on the show that came from because it has to do with a particular shape of person and having a nice personality. I can't say that anymore, so I'm not gonna because it'll get me in trouble. I'll tell you off the air. A beginner's guide to cooking dandelion greens. Step 1: throw out the weeds and go buy real food. That kind of sounds right. Actually, dandelion greens. If you get pho in a real restaurant, like a pho restaurant, a real Vietnamese restaurant, then they don't put cilantro on the side, or we use whatever. It's basil, right? Thai basil, but they actually put a type of dandelion green on the side. That's what you break up and put in the soup. So when you go to pho, if you want to say it American, it's pho soup. In the South, it's pho soup.
PHO.
I love this. I love this. The South. Well, it's PHO with a little thingy on it. Oh, I don't know if does that make it French? I'm just joking. You know the little accent?
Or Mexican.
It's pho.
Or Spanish, sorry. Whatever is politically correct.
You know what? Here's the thing. There's a reason we work in kitchens or by ourselves in front of a smoke pit or, whatever, because we are misfits. I often told Doc said something about being, we're a group of ragtag, blah. He said something about being ragtag. And I said, no, we're the island of misfit toys. There are more felons employed in the restaurant industry than all the other restaurants, for the most part, combined.
True.
Well, except maybe
I'm not a felon.
I'm not either, but except maybe car washes, right? I'm joking. I don't know. Hey, all my friends in the car wash industry, sorry, I love you. I know that's not why you're there. You make real good money. So,
as long as you're making money, that's all that matters.
Let's see. Drumstick ice cream cereal now available. No stuffing or gravy needed. Actually, I did see that. You know what? I got to read this one. This is something we covered on Beer for Breakfast Friday last week, I think, or the week before. I was not here last Friday, but yes, they have drumstick cereal. The drumstick. The little drumstick ice cream cones.
Okay.
Yeah, see that? They tricked us, didn't they? But great news. You can now buy drumstick ice cream cereal. I don't think that's really a good thing because, look, I used to get hopped up just on like Golden Grams and what was it, Corn Pops? What were the other ones? What was your favorite cereal as a kid? Here's a good question. What do you eat when you don't eat a lot of barbecue, you said?
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you eat?
My second go-to is cereal.
That's
I
funny.
eat Frosted Flakes.
That's
honey crisp.
Do not go near the railroad tracks. No, Doc, I'm telling you, Doc ate a lot of Frosted Flakes. That's what's wrong with that man.
Oh God.
He ate a whole. I bought the big box. Did you just mute me? Okay, well, I lost it because, it's probably my mic cord or something, or my headphone cords, or it's just my ears. I really don't hear well. But no, I bought the big box, the extra big box of Frosted Flakes. Doc wanted a bowl of cereal after his show got over at like 9 in the morning one day, and I'm like, okay. So I drove up to Fuel City here. Yeah. I got the big box. Like at Fuel City, the $6.50, $6.50 box that I can get 2 for $6 at Wally World.
Yep.
I mean the big box, and it's like the extra family size, I believe. Yeah. It's like 14 bowls, I suppose.
Probably 32 ounce. Something.
It's a big ass box of cereal, right? As Dave Letterman used to say, big ass ham.
Yep.
It's his favorite sponsor. So I bring it back, and I'm thinking, he's going to have 1 or 2 bowls. No big deal. But he would take, we had an empty ice cream, like a 3-quart container in there, and he would fill that thing like half full. And then he'd go back and do that again. Well, that morning he didn't do that. He grabbed the big cereal bowl, which is like it's a little bigger than just a regular cereal bowl. Okay. It's like 3 cups of cereal. Maybe 3.5. Okay. So he eats 1. Then he gets another, and then I do my show. I actually went for a run that day, and then it's dinner time. I bought it at 9 in the morning. It's dinner time. It's like 7:30. I go for a bowl of cereal. He ate the whole damn box between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. And he was a big guy. He was 6'5", and he ran a lot. But I mean, that's not all he ate. He ate other stuff we had a hamburger from Griff's, a double with cheese.
Dang, I was about to say that must have been all he ate.
No, well, it was funny because, everybody has these fad diets. He was on Whole30 for a while, and he and his wife were really strict about it. And it's a good diet, by the way. It's a very clean diet. And we need to mention, if there are any shout outs out there, anybody you need me to say hello to or Brandon should say so, then you better get it in. We have 20 minutes. But, he went on this. He goes, well, I'm cutting out protein. I'm like, cutting out protein? He goes, yeah, because it's really dense in calories and it's high in fat. I'm like, okay, so you're going to eat a box of Frosted Flakes. And, what he really liked were the Frosted Mini Wheats, right? Okay. Because they're high in fiber, pretty low in sugar. But I'm like, okay, so you're going to eat like a whole box of that, but you can't have 4 ounces of meat?
Or a protein shake? Yeah,
well, whatever. I mean, she's just like, nah, he was giving up meat in general, basically.
Okay.
I was like, okay, but he didn't lose any weight. Yeah,
not with all that milk.
Well, we drink almond milk here, so but I get I get the vanilla one at least, so at least has some flavor. Anyway,
that'll work.
All right, let's see. Oh, the world's most consumed alcohol is probably something you've not tried, but it is coming soon to a bar near you. Really?
World's most consumed.
It's got to be something out of China. No, I'm serious. So the most consumed beer outsells Budweiser like 2 to 1, and it's only sold in China. Here we go. Ming River, Sichuan Bayou. There you go. You're going to drink a little more than you like, and you can't refuse. The late Anthony Bourdain told his co-star Eric Rippert when they ventured into China's Sichuan province on his TV show, Bourdain. Okay, it's Baijiu. It's like a clear liquor. It's not my favorite. It's 40 to 6% alcohol.
It's like sake?
It's like a clear whiskey. It's pretty damn strong, and it's not vodka. So
my phone died.
Oh, you know what? I got a charger out there.
Sucks.
So, you should have a charger in here.
Everybody can see it later.
It's all good. Well, look, but yeah, so they have Baijiu's popularity in the country of 1.4 billion people makes it the world's most consumed spirit. 10.8 billion liters a year were sold in just 2017. So they have 1.4 billion people. You figure a fifth of those got to be children because they have one child. Blah blah blah. I think. I'm just saying they had laws like that, one child per family. Right. This is China.
Yeah, now you can have 2.
Is it 2?
Yeah. Well, just
only
recently.
one girl.
Oh. Yeah, something like that.
No, it was really weird. I mean, it was and I'm not judging China. It's just not my culture.
But they do drink a lot, evidently.
Well, so do the Japanese, dude. Holy crap! No, I'm telling you, I woke up pickled, smelling like a distillery more times than I can count. All right, you want to hear the funny? Okay, I got to tell you a funny alcohol story.
Go ahead.
There aren't too many funny alcohol stories. They end up in tragedy, right? So the company that was the accounting firm, I worked for a translation company. And when I first moved to Japan, it was called TransTech International. Technical translation. Their largest client was Nissan Technical Development. Anything that Nissan developed or parts changes, they would take those schematics, those exploded parts view, and then we would have to translate those into English from Japanese or into French or German or wherever it was going.
Right.
And then we would send them to we would send them back to them. They'd send them to the appropriate location. So. And they had some crazy stuff like blinker was called a winker. I'm like, no, it's a damn blinker. They're like, no, Patrick, it's a winker because that's what they say, and they say that in Australia, and that's what they say. And I'm like, it's a damn blinker. I'm like, whatever. You're right. But this was you didn't have computers back then that would do that. So basically, you would take a sheet of you take the paper, the original paper, and they blow it up. It was huge. They were like blueprint size, and then they would take it was a double, I don't know, like label paper. It's got a backing on it, but it was just a solid sheet of paper. And then they would just print all the words that were changing, and we would cut them out and keep the sticky backing on there and place it over each one of those individually.
Wow.
That's how, yeah, dude, Word did not exist then. You had, what was the other, they had Word Soft or Word, there was another one. There was, Word book, Word something. Richard Brandt, I know you know what I'm talking about. You had, it was not Word because Microsoft wasn't really there. Dun, 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 dun. So anyway, we'll figure it out later. I know Richard Brandt will come up in a minute. That aside, I went to Niigata Christmas time one year, and it's a northern prefecture of the main island of Japan, not up where Hokkaido and the Olympics were.
Right.
All right. So Niigata, they have 4 or 5 ski resorts, and the mother and father, the parents of the family, they were the accountants for the company I worked for, and her parents were rice farmers, and the rice was used for sake. It's the highest grade of rice. Okay, so I'm like, cool, great. We're going to the country. We're going to Niigata to go skiing at Ninoksu is the name of Ninox is the name of the place. I'm like, whatever, I don't care. So we wake up 6:30 in the morning, and so Grandma and Grandpa are there, and Grandpa's sitting in the living room drinking sake. 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, "Oh my!" That's kind of a really derogatory term for you. And I'm like, hi. I'm like, what are you on? And he's like, oida, come here. He sit down. He pours me a little choco. The white cups are called a choco. He pours me one. I'm like, and his rice is used to make this sake. It's a very expensive sake. And I'm like, that's pretty good. He's like, hi. Oishii desho. He's like, yeah, it's really good. So we drink a couple more. And they don't have the small bottle sake. They had the what do they call Jirabam or Methuselah or whatever the biggest bottle of wine is? It's like 4 times that size, right? This is like a freaking gallon and a half of sake. These are the ones that you give as an award for winning the Kentucky Derby or something like that. It's like the biggest bottle they make, and he's pouring. Okay, so about noon, well, we had breakfast, kept drinking sake. It was grilled fish, rice, and miso soup. And then, of course, dinner comes around, or lunch comes around. So at that point, we stopped drinking sake. We go to beer for a while. Then we went back to sake. And then we went to scotch later, or well, actually, it was Japanese whiskey. It wasn't scotch, but scotch blended is their style.
Gotcha.
And then late at night, went back to sake. We finished about midnight. So for basically 18 hours, I was drinking. I mean, and this guy was drinking. So we drank 1.5 of those bottles with a little help from a few other people, probably a half bottle of blended Japanese whiskey. It was a Suntory brand label, and 2-3 beers a piece. I'm telling you what.
Dang.
I've never been so sick in my life because I woke up the next morning and I couldn't, we were supposed to go skiing, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going skiing. So I literally crawled on my hands and knees to the bathroom. And they didn't have the regular, sit on toilet. So it's just like it's a porcelain toilet, but it's embedded in the floor, right? Okay. But it's on the floor. It made it easy to, I didn't have to stand up or lean over. But
that low?
Oh, it's on the ground. It's like built into the floor. I mean, there's maybe a 3-inch rise or whatever. And sometimes they have a little platform you step onto. But so if your knees don't bend all the way like Asian people, and this is not but they
they're
can
shorter.
No, they can bend all the way down. Like their knees, they can bend and squat all the way down with their feet flat, right, with their butt almost to the ground. You ever seen that? Like little kids do it. But for some reason, my knees don't bend that far anymore, and so to go, I had to hold on to the handle part, like the flusher part. I got to hold on to that. But anyway,
it's supposed to help you make it. Literally,
it
helps
is.
you go poop.
That's
better.
what the squatty potty's about.
Yeah. I mean,
that little stool that you sit on.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, what's really funny is we had one of those the other place, and I used to go in there. I was like, I got to try this. I'm sure that the main host over there was a sponsor at one point, but the Squatty Potty. I had a friend. I know, folks. Whatever. But I had a friend of mine. He was in his MBA program up at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, and one of his main project of his MBA was to come up with a product to compete with the Squatty Potty. Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, well, how do you compete with that? I mean, what do you come up with? The super pooper? I mean,
Right.
What do you? I mean, I don't know. So, so what do you do in your spare time, man? When you're not cooking? We got 12 whole minutes left, brother.
I was gonna say we're at the last 12 minutes.
Go ahead.
Let me jump in. So just tell a little bit.
No, let's stop. Just joking. No, go ahead.
Tell a little bit about what I'm doing now. We talked about how I got into it. Now I'm more focused on barbecue catering. I don't do too many pop-ups. I'm looking to do more collaborations. Speaking of, I have a collaboration with Doughboy Donuts in Fort Worth off of Camp Bowie this Sunday, the 26th. We are going to do a brisket donut sandwich. It's going to be 2 plain donuts, his donuts, which are pretty darn good.
I've heard. I haven't been there yet. I guess I got to go.
So, yeah,
do I get a free donut when walking the door? I'll give you a plug every day.
If you come, let's go. Let's do
this
it.
Sunday?
Yeah, this Sunday.
Okay, we'll see.
From 10:30 to 1.
Okay.
So it's going to be 2 donuts. It's going to be my brisket that I smoke, sliced, probably about 3 slices. I got Gouda cheese that I'm going to use.
Oh, smoked Gouda?
It is already smoked Gouda. I didn't smoke it myself.
No. I mean,
I have smoked cheese on my pellet grills. Pellet grills also on the Yoder.
Control the temperature.
You can actually just turn on the fan and not turn on the heat. So I can put a smoke tube. An Amazing is the brand Amazing in whatever smoke tube. So I can smoke my own cheese on my Yoder.
Very cool.
So I've actually done that. Smoked my own salt before. So basically, we're going to do a sandwich, 2 donuts, brisket. Gouda cheese. I do have a regular, American cheese when that Gouda runs out, because I didn't want to do, 50 slices of this smoked Gouda because that's pretty expensive.
Not only that, it doesn't usually come in slices, right? It usually comes in a wheel. Right?
It's actually sliced in circles, so it's a little. I think a 10-pack.
You can't buy
HEB.
slices now, yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing that. It's going to have the brisket. It's going to have a candied bacon. There's sriracha candied bacon.
That sounds that sounds really good, man.
So it's going to be sandwich with the sriracha drizzle on top. We're going to do 2 Russian pierogies. So it's going to be one of his normal donuts that's going to be thicker, no hole in the middle. We're going to make it just a little slit, kind of
hollow it out a little bit.
Hollow it out with the fingers with gloves on, of course. I'm going to shove some pulled pork, my pulled pork in there. Then I'm going to do one with chopped brisket.
Okay, wait. I need a napkin. I'm drooling.
So we're going to be doing the sandwiches for 9 and the pierogies for 6. Now, the proceeds from these is going to go towards Mission 3105, which is Sabrina Hull, is Corporal Garrett Hull. His wife, he passed away last September. I hope that's correct. He was a Fort Worth police officer. So he killed in the line of duty. So this is a mission that she started, which is called 3105.
I like it.
So basically, I also have a nonprofit that I started called Barbecue for Heroes.
I saw that, by the way.
So
very cool.
I have my Rack Tech Barbecue and I have Barbecue for Heroes. It's sort of like Operation Barbecue Relief, which is very, worldwide. They do a lot of, catastrophes, hurricanes, stuff. Mine is more, for me, I consider it more intimate, more personal. I can't hit everybody, but I try to.
Well, you can hit them all, but you can't feed them all.
I can't afford it all. Let's just say that. So I try to do any fallen officers. Maybe the mother and the children. They're going through a hard time. They just lost their husband, their father, their son, blah blah blah, and they don't want to cook. I'm cooking all the time, so why not provide them a hot meal?
Well, and barbecue for use as well too, chopped beef especially.
And barbecue goes a long way. I mean, you got a big old 12-pound brisket. That can feed, usually it's a half pound a person. So a 12-pound brisket after cooking, usually 7 pounds, but that's 14 people.
Well, easy.
I
mean, because, it's not just the beef. You always have something with it.
So you got, the side. So basically my mission for Barbecue for Heroes is going to be serving those fallen officers' families, going to different fire stations in the area, just saying, hey, here's a thank you. So my goal is to do once a month, donate to a fire station, LEOs, even paramedics, or even any hero, whether that's the guy that, pulled over and saved somebody from a fire, or, rescued someone from a swimming pool and gave CPR. Anyone that considers someone's a hero, in which Salem, the girl that got kidnapped in Fort Worth just recently, I believe his name is Jeff. He was a pastor of a church here locally. he went out on his own to try to find this vehicle. It was a Ford 500.
Yeah.
He found it at I think it was Wood Spring Hotels there in Forest Hill.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate ending. Yeah.
I gotta figure out how to get. I got his Facebook page, but I want everyone's considering him a hero. Well, there's my plug. That's where I need to come in and say, hey,
Awesome.
look, I want to provide you a meal. I mean, I'm cooking all the time, so it's nothing to me.
So Joe Wilson, when I says come down to this squirrel cooking demo,
yeah,
he actually they're part of a I forgot watchdog or sheepdog. They feed first responders.
Okay.
But he's very aware of a lot of things that happen in that line of duty, and maybe he could be someone that could help spread the word.
Okay.
And also maybe look, it's never cheap to do that. I know you're doing this pretty much all a lot of it's on your own.
Right, because I don't have a 501c3, so I'm not exempt. So right now I can't put on a event or some kind of benefit to where the money that's raised could go into.
Exactly.
This is how it is. Most people want to get a tax break. And so if I wanted to gain a bunch of money, those big companies, they want to be able to tax that off. It is how it is. And until I'm that exempt status, or maybe someone learns that, hey, this guy's really actually doing something that's from his heart or something that we need around here,
well,
then that'll come in.
It might be able to, you could maybe they could issue a sublicense or something through another organization, but you still keep your name. So it's just something we could talk about. And again, I'm all about networking, partnerships, and that cooperative competition, man. Cooperation.
For sure.
Because it's really fun when the guy who's your biggest competitor is one of your best friends.
Yeah.
And y'all just, it's heartwarming to see that people have an open enough mind to work together, and especially when things like this happen. So
for sure.
But yeah, anything I can do to help with that. And so where do we find you? Let's first and foremost. Yep. First and foremost, the Mission 3105 is, where do we find
So
you?
Mission 3105 is it's a nonprofit mission done by Sabrina Hull. So that is the wife of Corporal Garrett Hull, and she has a Facebook page called Mission 3105.
Okay.
So you can find that there. So basically, this whole month of May, anyone doing good deeds, she wants 31 days of good deeds. Awesome. That was the mission. So you hashtag Mission 3105.
Got it.
And that's that. So for me, my Rack Attack Barbecue is rackattackbbq.com is my website. Then you got Instagram, which you can look up. It's TX Craft Barbecue, and that's my hashtag. No one else has it. TX Craft Barbecue. Same with
all the way barbecue, not BBQ.
BARBEQUE.
Yeah.
Boom.
Hey, thank you, because obviously I can't write my name twice the same way.
Right.
So
and then same with Facebook. It's Rack Attack Barbecue is going to be on there. I think it's facebook.com/TX Craft Barbecue. So basically, I'm able to. No one's ever used those taglines, which I'm surprised no one in Texas with the craft barbecue scene that's been going on for the past year has not claimed or used TX Craft Barbecue. I'll go ahead and take it.
Yeah. So did you come up against any other people that were using it?
No. No. I even looked through GoDaddy to try to see if there was even a website made, and then even
did you grab the domain for like $12?
No, not yet.
I'll do it for you right now. Oh. So here's the other thing you want to. Yeah, I'll just give you. But here's the other thing. Yeah, I don't know what the other thing was. Oh, no. So, go ahead.
So so you got
hashtag
hashtag TX Craft Barbecue.
Okay. Are you on like Instagram?
That is that. Yeah. So Instagram, I'm Rack Attack BBQ. I got Barbecue for Heroes on there as well.
Cool.
So I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook.
Now is that Barbecue FOR or the number 4?
Rack Attack BBQ.
Okay, but the BBQ,
TX.
the Barbecue for Heroes is Barbecue 4 or
BBQ 4 FOR.
BBQ FOR. Okay.
HEROES. Boom.
Okay. I just gotta make sure.
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
I try to tag all of my pages into one, when necessary.
Well, I saw a lot of stuff tagged, and I didn't know what they all were. I knew that Barbecue for Heroes. I looked that up, but that's cool stuff, man. You're doing good work.
So just
real good work.
Trying to, barbecue. We cook on a huge smoker most of the time, and we're getting wholesale prices now, and even then, if it's select brisket, someone wants a meal regardless. It doesn't matter whether it's back in the day, the old school way of barbecue. It was pitmasters taking select, the cheapest cut, and making it as good as it could be.
Exactly.
That's how it started. Now with the craft,
stretch it.
We add that craft name in our barbecue. We're doing prime briskets. We're doing up a 2/3 choice or cab or wagyu. It's just
exactly. So
food is there's three things I think to life. It's food, air, and water. Yeah.
So shelter, depending, but yeah. I mean, those three you got to have. You can crawl under a rock, right?
Yeah.
And I've wanted to a few times.
Yeah. So I figured, I don't know I honestly don't remember how I came up with Barbecue for Heroes. My wife's uncle is Bill Wayburn, Tarrant County Sheriff. So she has a couple, law enforcement in her family that I married into amongst, my second cousin who's David Griffin with Mansfield Police. So I was raised around it and just knew if I can't, and I try to join them. I try to go the Army route. Didn't pass the ASVAB math. I try to do the police officer route, Tarrant County Sheriff. Just some things in the past, it just holds you back.
I get it.
So if you can't join them, support them.
Exactly. No, that's awesome. I like your philosophy.
That's what I did.
Hey, real quick, 1 minute left.
Oh gosh, already?
Yeah, it's okay. Look, you can come back. I got 10 hours next week to fill, or 8 hours at least.
Goodness.
Favorite meal ever? Doesn't have to be fancy. What was your favorite meal? Most memorable?
Oh gosh,
all right. One of your.
I grew up. My mom would even say I always ate cereal. Like literally. Even to this day.
One of my most memorable meals. We catered this party this one time for. We had a company called BringDinnerHome.com. It was the first home meal delivery kit service.
Okay.
And we did this party for 40 people in this big home in River Oaks in Houston. At the end, there was nothing left to eat except we had 2 bottles of Chateau of this really nice French wine and 2 big wheels of brie. We cut the wheels of brie in half, and it was brie and wine. No crackers, no bread. I'll tell you what, though, it was filling. Go ahead. You got
all right. I got 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So I want to give a shout out.
You got about 10 seconds left.
Okay.
15.
So I want to give a shout out to a new Tex-Mex barbecue restaurant that's going to be out here in Arlington, Hurtado Barbecue. Pitmaster's Brandon Hurtado. He's actually been with me ever since I probably got started. He's been there. And then also you got Life Adventures Youth Foundation, which you can look them up on Facebook, and we will have them a cook-off down in November.
All right, man. Hey, thanks, guys. Ciao for now. We'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.
This